how long does it actually take to complete a full set of construction specifications on a real project? Even experienced architects typically spend 2 to 3 days, sometimes an entire week, putting together a baseline specification package, digging through code references, copying sections from old project files, correcting inconsistencies, cross-checking material standards. This repetitive cycle quietly consumes some of the most valuable hours in any design practice, and it is not just a time problem. Manual specification writing is inherently prone to omissions and inconsistencies that can become the seeds of costly disputes on site. If you work in construction, you know this cycle all too well, but what if a single, well-crafted ChatGPT prompt could collapse that entire process into under 30 minutes? Today, we are going deep on AI-assisted specification writing, the practical prompt engineering techniques that actually work, the pitfalls that can get you into trouble, and the systematic workflow that makes it all stick. Let's start with the why now question. Outside of large architecture and engineering firms that have invested in document automation, the specification writing process at most small to mid-sized practices still looks remarkably similar to how it did a decade ago. The workflow is entirely predictable. Pull a master specification template, copy and paste, manually edit, send for internal review, revise again. The inefficiency is well documented, but the deeper problem is quality, not just speed. Manual processes are inherently inconsistent. Items get missed. Material references go stale. Ambiguous language slips through review. And when specifications are unclear on site, disputes follow. Analysis of construction litigation across major global markets consistently identifies specification ambiguity as a significant contributing factor to project disputes, with estimates placing it at roughly 30 to 40% of cases. Large language models are structurally well suited to address this problem. Trained on vast bodies of technical documentation, they can rapidly reconstruct standard specification sections, maintain consistent formatting across a document set, and minimize omissions when they are prompted correctly. Now let's get into the core of it. What happens if you simply write a construction specification into ChatGPT? You will get something that looks plausible, but it will almost certainly be unusable on a real project. The quality of AI output is directly proportional to the quality of the prompt that produced it. For construction specification writing, effective prompt design follows 4 essential principles. First, assign a role. Tell ChatGPT explicitly, you are a licensed architect with deep knowledge of international construction standards and applicable local building codes. Defining a role immediately raises the technical register of the response and focuses the model on the right domain. Second, provide context. Specify the building type, scale, structural system, and finish level in concrete terms. The more precise your inputs, the more relevant and usable the output. Third, define the output format. Specify section numbering, division structure, and table formatting in advance. For example, following CSI master format divisions, which are recognized across global markets. Fourth, set constraints. Add explicit boundaries such as comply with applicable ASTM and ISO material standards and reflect current local building code requirements. These 4 principles transform a vague, open-ended request into a professionally structured specification draft that your team can actually work with. Let's put these principles into practice with a real example. Our scenario: a 5-story commercial office building, reinforced concrete structure, exterior walls finished with EIFS, exterior insulation and finish system. The widely specified exterior cladding solution used on commercial mid-rise projects globally. We need to draft the exterior wall specification section. Here is how the prompt is structured. You are a licensed architect with over 10 years of experience in commercial construction, well-versed in CSI master format conventions and international building standards. Write an exterior wall specification section for the following project. Building type, commercial office. Structure, reinforced concrete frame. Exterior finish, EIFS. Urban mid-rise. 5 stories above grade. Format the output following CSI Master Format, Part 1 General, Part 2 Products, Part 3 Execution. Include clause numbering within each part. Reference applicable ASTM standards for all material properties, and express all quality and performance criteria as measurable numerical values. That single structured prompt can produce a viable first draft specification section in a matter of minutes. The single most important instruction in that prompt: require quality criteria to be expressed as measurable numerical values. That one line is the difference between vague, legally ambiguous language and a specification that can be enforced on site. Here is the part you absolutely cannot skip. ChatGPT hallucinates. It will confidently cite ASTM or ISO standard numbers that do not exist, reference superseded document editions, or produce material property values that sound entirely reasonable but have no basis in any published standard. In a construction specification, an unchecked AI error can translate directly into a field problem or into litigation. This is precisely why AI-generated specifications must go through a mandatory 3-step verification process before they leave your desk. Step 1. Cross-reference every standard citation. Look up every ASTM, ISO, or EN standard number the AI has produced against the official Standards Authority database. Verify that each citation exists, is currently active, and has not been superseded. Step 2. Validate numerical criteria. Compare key performance values, compressive strength, thickness tolerances, concrete cover depth, fire resistance ratings against your project's design documents and the verified published standards. Step 3. Prompt the AI to audit itself. Ask ChatGPT directly. Review this specification section and identify any items that may be missing or incomplete. This technique uses the model's own pattern recognition to surface gaps it introduced during generation. Used together, these 3 steps dramatically improve the reliability of AI output. But the principle is non-negotiable. AI is a powerful drafting tool, and the final professional judgment must always rest with the qualified practitioner. Now let's pull everything together into a workflow your whole practice can use consistently. There is a meaningful productivity gap between using ChatGPT reactively, one ad hoc prompt at a time, and building a systematic specification workflow your team can draw from every day. Practitioner experience and early adopter data consistently suggest that a well-structured prompt library can multiply team output by roughly 5 times compared to ad hoc AI use. The approach we recommend is building a specification prompt library organized by trade division. Develop and validate prompt templates for your most frequently specified sections: concrete, waterproofing, painting, ceramic tiling, metal windows, and curtain wall glazing. Each template captures the role definition, project context variables, format structure, and constraint language your firm applies consistently across projects. Load your firm's standard conditions into a reusable system prompt, specific product approval requirements, quality assurance period terms, required submittal documentation, so even a junior team member can generate a first draft that already reflects the firm's established standards and preferences. Host that library on a shared platform such as Notion or Google Docs, so every team member is drawing from the same validated, up-to-date templates. And for the next level of automation, connecting the ChatGPT API to your project intake forms in Excel or Notion creates a semi-automated pipeline where entering project data automatically generates a tailored specification first draft. This is what genuine workflow transformation looks like, and it compounds over time as the library grows. Let's bring everything together. AI-assisted construction specification writing is not a convenience feature. It is a genuine productivity transformation for practices willing to invest in the right workflow. With well-structured prompt design and a rigorous 3-step verification process, professionals can maintain full output quality while dramatically compressing the time they spend on specification production. Think of AI as the analogy of a highly capable junior drafter. It can absorb the repetitive, templated work faster than any human, but it needs clear direction and expert oversight to be trusted on a live project. That handoff frees you to focus on what only a qualified professional can provide: exercising design judgment, interpreting code intent, managing project risk, and communicating with clients and contractors with authority and accountability. That fundamental shift changes the nature of what it means to be a construction professional in this decade. Which brings us to the question worth sitting with. In a world where AI produces the first draft of every specification, what is the irreplaceable value that a design professional brings to a project? Leave your answer in the comments. We would genuinely love to hear how your thinking is evolving. In our next video, we go deeper into using AI for automated building code compliance review, practical, project-ready techniques